What would you eat if you had nothing? No money, no food, no help coming. During the Great Depression, millions of families lived this reality every day. By 1932, over 13 million Americans had no jobs. Parents skipped meals just so their children could eat. And somehow, they survived. In small kitchens across the country, mothers performed quiet miracles. With almost nothing, they created meals that kept their families alive. A single pot could feed a family for days. A handful of ingredients could mean survival. These are the meals that made that possible. 1. Boiled potatoes with onion. For many families, this wasn't just food, it was life. Potatoes were cut, dropped into boiling water with onion and a pinch of salt. The smell filled the room, simple but comforting. They were eaten slowly, stretched as far as possible. Many later said, this meal carried them through their darkest days. Cost 1 to 2 cents. 2. Potato soup. On freezing nights, this pot stayed on the stove for hours. Potatoes and onions softened into a thick, warm soup. If there was a little milk or flour, it was added carefully, making it feel like more than it was. Each spoonful brought warmth and a little hope. Cost 2 to 3 cents. 3. Dandelion greens. Children walked through fields with their mothers, searching for anything edible. They picked dandelion leaves not because they wanted to, but because they had to. The greens were boiled, then fried with a bit of salt or saved grease. One woman remembered, we hated picking them, but they kept us alive. Cost free. 4. Bean soup, navy or pinto. This was survival in a pot. Beans soaked overnight, then cooked slowly with onion and whatever scraps were available. The pot lasted for days, feeding anyone who needed it. If it wasn't for beans, we wouldn't have made it. Cost 2 to 4 cents. 5. Cornbread and buttermilk. Cornmeal mixed with water or buttermilk, baked into something simple but filling. The edges crisp, the inside soft. Families called it the poor man's feast, because even in poverty, it felt like a real meal. Cost 1 to 2 cents. 6. Hoover stew. Even in hard times, there were small moments of joy. Macaroni, canned tomatoes, and sliced hot dogs cooked together. It wasn't much, but for children, it felt special. Something warm, something different. Cost 4 to 6 cents. 7. Bread pudding. Nothing was wasted, not even stale bread. Old pieces were soaked in milk, softened, then baked with whatever sweetness was available. What came out was warm, soft, comforting. From scraps came something that felt like a treat. Cost 2 to 4 cents. 8. Chicken and dumplings. This wasn't everyday food, this was something families waited for. Cheap chicken, boiled slowly into broth, soft dumplings dropped in, soaking up every bit of flavor. Families gathered close, eating slowly. For a moment, life felt normal again. Cost 5 to 8 cents. 9. Split pea soup. A pot that never seemed to empty. Dried peas cooked slowly, stretched over days, reheated again and again. It sat on the stove like a safety net. Simple, reliable, always there. Cost 2 to 3 cents. 10. Milk toast. The quietest meal of all. Bread, toasted, then covered with warm milk. Sometimes a little sugar, sometimes just salt. Given to the sick, the tired, the ones who had nothing left. Warm, gentle, comforting. Like a small moment of peace in a very hard world. Cost 1 to 2 cents. These meals weren't made for taste. They were made to survive. But more than that, they were made with care. with love, with determination. They didn't just feed families, they kept hope alive. Which of these meals surprised you the most? Did your grandparents ever talk about anything like this? Share your story in the comments. And if this touched you, like, subscribe, and follow for more. Thank you for watching, and thank you for remembering.